So today I am going to be talking about this set from Permablend and Sculpted Studios called Enhance. This is a lip set and it is done by Carla from Sculpted Studios. So now I'm going to give a little, I'm going to admit something here. I have not taken Carla's class yet, and there's a reason. I originally saw Carla speak at SPCP 2 years ago, and up until that time, we really, if you've been in the permanent makeup industry a long time, you know that we were not able to work with very dark lips. There was a certain, a line that you would draw where these lips are safe to work on, and these lips are not. And typically it was, based by the Fitzpatrick numbers. And there were some people out there that were starting to kind of neutralize and warm up lips using different oranges, different orange modifiers. But for a very long time, we were just told not to tattoo darker lips. And so people started doing it, and Carla was doing it very successfully. And so we had her come speak at SPCP, and the information she gave was amazing because Carla was not just experimenting with these ideas. She was bringing us science, like biology-based science about the different types of melanin in the lips and how to neutralize this properly and how to do it in a way that not just looked good, but that would last. And I will admit, I was still very, very nervous at that time because it was still so new. And I was like, oh, I really want to do darker lips. I've done darkish lips for a very long time, but the level of darker lips that she was doing was something I was not willing to touch at the time, and I'm still not fully ready to touch some of the colors that I've seen her do. And so I was like, oh, this is so amazing. I want to take this class. And I said, you know what, I'm going to hold off for a little bit because I bet you that there's more things coming. And she did not disappoint. So what I've seen her do now is she puts out a lot of, if you don't follow Carla Ricciardone, I think, Ricciardone, something, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, but Carla Sculpted Studios, follow her. She puts out a lot of like infographics where she shows different lips. She shows what she uses to modify them and why, and how she just, distinguishes the color. And so she's taken all of that information and put it into two sets. There's the Enhance set, and there is the EMBODY set, and I'm doing EMBODY in another video. This video is just going to be the Enhance set, and so I was waiting for these to come out so that I could take her class. She's got a lips course and she's got a color theory course, and from what I understand, they are pretty intense. So it is a lot of information, and so let's just dive into this set right here and see what we've got. So let's start with the box. This box is so well done. It's amazing. It's beautiful on the outside. It has a really nice feel to it. The box itself should not be important, but I can appreciate the level of detail that went into creating this. You could feel that there's love in here. So when we open up, there is this chart inside. And so this is the chart. And it has all of the colors that it comes with, and different ways to use them, different mixes, things like that. And again, this is a lot of intense information here that I don't particularly understand because I have not taken the class yet. That is on my to-do list for this weekend. I'm going to get that started. It's my understanding it is quite a very long course, so I'm sure I'll be doing that for a while. But what I particularly like here is that not only is she giving you like the different looks of the drawdown and things like that, but she's giving you like her favorite mixes and things like that. And I think that that's great information here. So let's take a look at the colors themselves. So there are, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 colors and a dilutant. Just as a side note, it is very important that you always use the dilutant that the manufacturer tells you to use. The reason for that is that there's carrier fluids that are used in the pigments, and if you mix the carrier fluid of one type of pigment with a dilutant from another brand, it's the same carrier fluid. So if you're going to use that, they may not mix very well together, and then you're not going to get an even disbursement of the color. And so you definitely want to use what the manufacturer recommends. And so for this set, she's got a diluent in here called Adjust, and this is what she wants you to use for these pigments. So that's what you're going to use. So these colors are really pretty. I'm definitely loving this color here and that color there. The haze I'm particularly interested in because I love that you can create earthier tones with it. You can lower the value of your tones within, and it looks like, according to the chart, it looks like you can also use this alone to correct darker lips that have light spots in them. So I was so excited about that, but I'm not going to be talking about any of that in this video because that is a lot of information, a lot of which I do not have yet, and also because if it's a hours and hours and hours long course, then it is not something that I can cover in a quick video here. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop these open, we're going to do some drawdowns, and so if this is something that you're interested in purchasing, follow along with me and let's see what these colors look like and down on the paper and in the drawdowns, and so that you can get a good look at the set for yourself. And let's dive in. All right, so if you've never done drawdowns before, what you're going to do is you're going to write down all of the colors that you're doing your drawdowns for. I've got a little cup of water and some Q-tips, and what we're going to do is put a drop of the color and we're going to pull it down to see what it looks like as its mouse tone and what it looks like when it's diluted. When it's diluted, you can see the undertone of the color. So again, I have not taken Carla's class yet because I was waiting for this set to be released, and so because of that, I'm not going to be talking about when or where or why to be using these colors. That's something that is she goes into in great detail, and so for the purpose of this, we're just doing drawdowns. And I apologize for all the banging. They're doing construction in the room next to me, so if you hear banging, tapping, drilling, I can't help that. So the first color that we're going to start with is Gin. In the bottle, this is a very orangey color. It's very creamy looking, and white is the first ingredient in here, so it does have a high titanium content. You always want to make sure that you shake your colors really, really well. Colors can settle over time, especially if you don't use them a lot. And so I start by just putting a drop at the top, dip Q-tip into my water, and I just like to squeeze the excess out a little bit. And then we're just going to start at the top and we're going to work our way down. And so what we can see here is that this color has a really strong mass tone, meaning the mass tone here, which is the color in its full glory, in its full concentration, doesn't change a whole lot as we dilute it. And that's really important to know. Sometimes colors, when we dilute them, they get lighter, they change color a little bit. This one holds its color really well. It's kind of got like a salmony hint to it. It's definitely a warm color, and it has a high opacity. We could say we could barely see through it here. The next color is Poppy. This color is a really bright red looking color. The first ingredient after water is red 254, and so this is going to be a strong red. Shake that up really good. Oh wow, this is a really bright, bold red. I really like this. And again, it is really holding its color as it gets diluted. We're not seeing like changes in color. So like the color that you're putting in is truly the color that you're getting regardless of the dilution here. These are great colors so far. I'm really enjoying these. So the next color here is Marlowe, and this one's a really creamy pink. And again, we see that white is the first ingredient, so it's going to be a strong titanium color. Give it a good shake. In the bottle, it looks a lot like a bubble gum pink. So I'd say this one has a really nice, soft, natural looking pink to it, especially as it becomes diluted. Even the color in its full intensity, it's a little on the cooler side. It's a little more muted, so it's not going to be as like bright as, like, let's say something like this, but we will see once we get over there to that color. Definitely, I would use this for sure on just natural colored lips. Somebody that just wants like a natural blush to keep along with their natural skin tone, or their natural lip tone rather, that doesn't really want to be wearing lipstick, but they want their lips enhanced. This color I think would be absolutely gorgeous, depending on the skin tone of the person, of course. The next color is Joy. This one, again, is a really bright red. Let's look at it next to Poppy. They're very similar. I would say Poppy is a little more orange leaning. This one is a little deeper of a red. And the ingredients after water, again, is red. And this one, instead of red, this one was red 254. This one is red 170. So they're just different reds. It's important to know not only the ingredients of your colors, and you can always, with Permablend, they have little QR codes that you can scan and get the SDS sheets. But if you go to the manufacturer's website, they should be giving you the SDS sheets so that you can see all the ingredients that are in your colors. If you're using a brand that doesn't do that, then I would not use that brand. You want to know what's in your colors or know what's in your pigment bottles. And so here, the difference between red 254 and red 170 is going to be important, right? Because if we don't know the difference between the two reds, we can't make decisions based on them. And all you have to do is Google the color and hit images, and you'll see that color swatch. So for Joy, this is a really bright red. It's really pretty. And so looking at it next to this one, we could see Poppy's got a little bit more of an orangeness to it, where this one has a little bit more, I guess, it's definitely cooler. It's got, I don't want to call it magenta, but it's definitely leaning more towards the cool side, whereas Poppy is a red that's leaning more towards the orange side. So this one's definitely warmer than this one. So next color that we'll look at is Lala. Lala has white as its first ingredient, and so it is a little creamier. And again, one of the things that I'm noticing about this entire set so far is that look at how strong these colors are. They do not change very much as they get to their dilution. The colors themselves are very, very strong, very intense, and I'm really looking forward to using them on actual lips. This is really pretty. I'm trying to look for words to describe what I'm seeing. The colors that you might see through your screen might be different than the colors that I'm seeing in person. This one definitely, like, even though in the bottle it looks, kind of red, it's not, I wouldn't call it pink, but when we get it here, it's got like almost an earthy, like it's starting to lean a little earthy toned, like it's a little more muted, meaning it's not as bright as a red like this, and it's not as bright as a pink like this turns into. It's got like a more muted kind of tone, Like, are you guys seeing that as well? I wouldn't call it orange. I wouldn't call it cool, but it's definitely like cool leaning. And that's what I've noticed too from as the colors are going across. These are warmer and then they start getting cooler as they come over here. So this is Glam. And Glam also has white as its first ingredient, which means it's got good opacity and it's a nice creamy color. Now this one is listed as being able to use it alone or use it to lighten up the other colors. So if you mix it with one of the other colors, it's going to lighten and brighten that color. And this color, like with, you know, the Barbie movie just came out and with all of the Barbie craze, I feel like this is like a perfect Barbie color. It's almost like a raspberry. I don't want to call it raspberry, but I can't really call it baby pink. It's definitely a cooler tone and it is really pretty. But as you can see, it does lighten up as we get lower. Right? So as we come down here, it does start to lighten and we really see that cooler undertone, but even still, it holds its mass tone pretty well. All right, so Haze is a very dark color, as you can see here. And this color, the first ingredient here is yellow, right? And so you might be saying to yourself, like, yellow, how is the first color in there yellow? Well, this is why it's so important to not only understand your colors, but know what's inside of your bottle, because there are colors in here that you might not be expecting, right? And so, and these are really, really little, so it's really hard for me to see, but I can see yellow, I see red 254, and orange 36. There's also black in here, right? And so that's going to be really important because we don't usually use black in the lips, right? We don't usually want browns and blacks in the lips. But what if you have someone with brown lips and that you want to work on those? And so I do see Carla using this to adjust hypopigmentation and things like that in dark brown lips. And so this is going to be the color that you use for that. It also says in the package that you can use it to darken the value of these other colors. So again, these are things that are really important to not only understand color theory, but color theory as it pertains to lips, and then on top of that, color theory as it pertains to neutralizing dark lips or working with darker lips. So if you're new to the industry, even if you're not new to the industry, I would not purchase these pigments without taking this course. And Carla has an entire course at, I think it's sculptedstudios.com. I'll double check on that and I'll change it on the screen if I'm wrong. But Carla gives a color theory class and a lip class. And so I would not just, jump into using these colors, especially working on dark lips, until you've not only taken the classes, but have a really strong understanding of the color theory as it pertains to this set and those lips. So having said all of that, let's now look at this color Haze, which I'm really excited about because this is the first time I'm seeing a color like this in a lip set, and that makes me really happy. So this is a beautiful brown. Look at that. This is a really gorgeous brown. It's pretty neutral, I would say. It's neither warm leaning, it's certainly a cool color, but it's not a very warm leaning color. I would call this like a true brown, like a really nice, true, even brown. And you can see here how this would really work well in correcting brown lips. So I'm interested to see how it looks mixed in with the other colors to darken them. And again, like I said, I don't want to talk about how I would use these colors simply because, like I said, I have not taken Carla's course yet. I was waiting for these to come out so that I could follow along and actually play with the colors as I am taking the class. So again, if you have not taken the class, take it. before you buy these sets, because knowing how to use these colors is really going to determine how well you do and how successful you are in implementing them. So once again, this is the Enhance set. It's made by Permablend with Sculpted Studios. Carla put this together. It's a lot of years of, I don't know if she said 7 or 10 years of research and testing and learning and compiling all of this amazing information. The accompanying courses that go with it are the color theory course and the lips course, and I'm super excited about these. If you'd like to buy them from us, you can go to teachmepmu.com, use the coupon code Angela10, and get 10% off your order.